Okay, so let's get started with the most basic of English dinners, a roast chicken dinner. So this is a 1.8 kilogram large roasting chicken. So most UK grocery stores sell them as small, medium, large, extra large. The large tends to be kind of 1.6 to 1.8 kilos. And this one was just over 1.8. So for those people questioning whether you can get that size in there, you can see he fits quite nicely, or she fits quite nicely into the container there. So I've left the rack in the bottom, and I've popped I've rubbed a little bit of oil over the skin of the chicken. I've then sprinkled it with some seasoning, and I've just used a chicken seasoning blend for this. So you can use whatever you'd like, whatever you would normally put on a roast chicken. And then I've put him or her breast side down to start with. So the part that you would normally have at the top is on the bottom, and this is just to prevent, if you just cooked it for the whole time with the breast side up, the skin on the top would be quite burnt, and we don't want that. So we're going to give it the first 30 minutes, we're going to have breast side down, and then we'll flip it and we'll cook for another 20 to 30 minutes with breast side up. So for this side, I'm going to use the roast setting. So I'm just going to close the drawer there, and you can see I'm in drawer number 1, and I'm just going to turn that to roast, which automatically sets it to 190 degrees. And I'm then going to give it 30 minutes. So I need to go up a little bit on my time. The temperature is right. Time. Ooh, 31. 30. And then we'll just let it start. So that is now going. We'll be back in 30 minutes. Okay, so that first 30 minutes is gone, and I have just turned the chicken over to breast side up, which is the way you would normally roast a chicken. You just need to be a bit careful with the legs there, that they don't touch onto the fan at the top of the unit, but these just fit underneath, they're not touching it. You could truss them down or push them down and bend them back if you wanted to. Now, in order to turn it, I've got a pair of these really long silicone tongs, and literally I just put it inside the chicken. And no, that piece is not still inside the chicken, it's somewhere in the drawer. You put it inside the chicken, and it's easy to then just flip it and turn it, and so it really is not difficult. I could do it by myself with one hand. So now we are going to, in pot 1, we're going to put it back onto roast again, and this time I want to just do it for 20 minutes, so the temperature stays the same. The time this time is going to be 20. Now in pot 2, I've now got some chopped up potatoes ready to roast. Now I don't parboil mine, some people do. What I do with my potatoes is I soak them in cold water for about 10 or 15 minutes, drain all the water off, dry them with either a paper towel or a tea towel, and then I put a little bit of oil on them to coat them. Some people pop them in a sprayed container. So in the drawer, they would spray it with oil, not fry light. It's not good on, and I know I'm saying a lot at the moment because I'm trying to think what I'm saying. The non-stick coating on here typically doesn't do very well with things like fry light, which is chemicals, it's not oil. But if you have a little spray bottle of just regular oil, some people will spray the tin and then spray over the top of the potatoes. I just pop mine in a bowl and combine it with a little bit of oil and some seasoning before I put them in. So I'm going to click on number 2, and I also want those to roast. Now these I want to do for 25 minutes. I'm going to check them periodically through the cooking time. About every 5 minutes you want to give them a shake and check them. Now if I wanted this to sync so they were both ready at the same time, I could push the sync button and these potatoes would start and then the chicken would start, but I want to check the chicken after 20 minutes and I may need to do it a few more minutes. So I'm just going to push start to start them independently. The match button here means that if I had potatoes in both sides, I would program 1, push match, and it would automatically set the same program for the other, or not necessarily the same thing in both sides, but something that's going to cook at the same time and temperature. So that saves you having to program it twice for the same thing. The sync means you've got 2 different things, 2 different either methods of cooking or times for cooking, temperatures for cooking, and it's going to sync them so everything's ready at the same time. But these I'm just running independently. So we're going to start, and now they're both starting up together, and we'll be back when there's something to look at. And so there we have our lovely roasted, crispy skinned, if you can hear that, chicken. And I just heard the beeper go, that's for the potatoes, so I'll take you over there and have a look at that. Now I'm just letting this chicken rest for 10 minutes, and then I will just carve off a leg, make sure that there is no pink left in it. I haven't got a digital thermometer, that's what I need to get hold of, just so that it can test me, because it's a bit hard to tell, especially with like a joint of meat or a whole chicken or something like that, as to whether it is fully cooked. Now this is steaming, you can see the steam coming off of it. I have just pulled apart there, and you can see that it's nice and juicy but not pink at all. But I will just cut off a leg and just check it thoroughly for being cooked through before we serve. And if need to, I can cut off the meat and carve it up into the kind of slices and portions, and then just pop that back in there for a few minutes, just to, especially the boned, like the leg pieces. Probably the breast won't need it, but I will check it thoroughly before we serve it. And so there are the roasty potatoes. Just give them a little shake. You can hear how crispy they are. And so they will be perfect on the side. I've got some vegetables steaming. I've also got some gravy just making up. And so that is our first attempt at a roast dinner in the Ninja. I think I nearly said the Nutra something. I don't know what I was going to say. The Ninja Dual Zone.